When the children started vanishing from the outskirts of Dole, most believed it was wolves. The winters in Franche-Comté were bitter, and hunger made beasts bold. Livestock had already begun to disappear. Now it seemed so were the youngest among them. But what the villagers found when they finally went searching would mark one of the most disturbing cases ever recorded in early modern France. The CurseVerse.
It began in the autumn of 1572. Dole was a quiet rural town surrounded by forest and farms, isolated from the rest of Burgundy. Life was harsh, and most lived off the land. The first to disappear was a 10-year-old girl from the outskirts of Dole. She had been sent out by her mother to fetch water before dusk and never returned. Her pail was found near a frozen stream. Her footprints led into the forest and stopped. A few days later, villagers discovered what they thought were the remains of an animal carcass. But the closer they looked, the more horror emerged. Torn flesh, small bones gnawed clean, a hand half buried in the snow. The body had been partially eaten, and what was left looked as if it had been torn apart by something with both teeth and hands. Word spread fast. Some said wolves had grown bold. Others whispered darker things, of a man seen lurking at the tree line, crouched low, his face smeared with blood.
The second victim came only weeks later. A boy, 12 years old, on his way home from tending cattle. When his body was found, both legs had been stripped of flesh, the thighs gnawed to the bone. Witnesses who followed the trail claimed to have seen a gaunt man, naked from the waist up, moving on all fours among the trees. That winter, panic spread through Dole. The parliament issued a proclamation of a werewolf, authorizing the citizens to hunt and kill any creature or person suspected of the crimes. Men carried torches and pitchforks at night, searching the forests, and one evening, a group of men found him.
Near the edge of the woods, a farmer and 2 others claimed they saw what looked like a wolf crouched over a body, that of a half-grown boy. When they shouted, the creature turned and fled, but not as a beast. They swore they saw it stand, upright, and run like a man. They followed the tracks in the snow, expecting paws, but found bare human footprints leading back toward the forest hut of Gilles Garnier. Inside his cabin, the officials found blood-stained rags, scraps of bone, and meat that did not look like any animal they knew. Garnier was taken into custody.
During the interrogation, what he said chilled even the magistrates. He confessed, though whether from guilt, madness, or torture, we will never know. He claimed that one night, while out searching for food, a spirit appeared to him, a tall, shadowed figure with hollow eyes, and spoke with a voice that promised salvation. The spirit told him he would never again be hungry if he accepted its gift. Then it handed him an ointment, instructing him to anoint his body, and he would be able to transform into a wolf.
And when hunger struck again, he roamed the woods, not as a man, but as a beast. He told the court how he attacked a little girl gathering sticks in the forest, strangled her, and dragged her to his lair. There he tore her flesh with his teeth, eating part of her body raw, and saving the rest for his wife. When questioned about how he could do such a thing, he said it was not him, that the wolf had taken over, that the spirit had guided him to the prey.
He described other murders with the same gruesome detail. A young boy found alone in the fields. He bit deep into his thighs, stripping the flesh to carry home. A child's body left in a ditch. Garnier admitted to tearing away the arms and legs and roasting them for later. Another, he said, was too tough to eat.
he left it half buried in the snow. Each confession matched the bodies found. What unsettled the judges most wasn't only the confession, it was how calmly he spoke of it. He didn't appear possessed or raving. He was quiet, thin, and articulate, speaking as though recounting an ordinary routine. At one point, he said the spirit told him, "You will never hunger again if you feed as I do." And he believed it. He said that when the change came over him, he could see and smell better. His hunger sharpened, and the woods called to him. The townspeople called it proof of a pact with the devil. When the trial concluded in 1573, Garnier was found guilty of lycanthropy and murder. The court records list at least 4 confirmed victims, though many suspected there were more. The sentence was execution by burning. He was led to the stake outside Dole's city walls. Witnesses said he did not struggle. He looked hollow, barely human, as if the man had already burned away inside. The flames rose, and so did the cries of the crowd, some shouting, "Monster!" others praying under their breath. And as the smoke carried over the town, people swore they heard howling from the distant woods.
When the officials searched Garnier's hut, they found traces of human remains, but no sign of the ointment he described. Not a jar, not a drop. And yet several witnesses testified that Garnier's wife spoke of seeing him return home with blood on his face and raw meat in his hands. Meat she swore looked human. Even more chilling, she said she once woke in the night to find him missing and saw by the faint moonlight a large wolf standing near the tree line, staring back toward the cabin. When she called his name, the wolf turned and disappeared into the woods. Moments later, Gilles walked in through the door. She swore it was the same night, the same hour.
The records end with his execution, but in Dole, stories continued. Livestock torn apart in the following winters, children who vanished near the same streams, hunters who swore they saw a wolf walking upright, watching from the shadows. Over time, people stopped calling it a curse and began calling it a warning. The woods around Dole were said to belong to the werewolf. And even now, centuries later, when you walk the forest trails near the ruins of Saint Benoît, locals say you can still hear it, faint, distant, carried by the wind, a low, hollow cry that isn't quite a wolf and not quite a man.